Today's program is going to focus in on how your words and actions and your presence, what you bring, how that reflects upon you and helps you tell your story to succeed in job and career and leadership opportunities. So we're glad that you've joined us. We have a wonderful presenter today. She's a business coach and wonderful friend of the library. I'm going to introduce our facilitator and we will get going. So our presenter today is Ms. Debra Austin. She is a coach, consultant, facilitator, and speaker. She helps business owners to clarify their vision, create a roadmap for success, and overcome obstacles like ineffective marketing, poor sales, low productivity, and head trash that could be stopping them from achieving their goals. She is a proud graduate of Purdue University and Southern Methodist University, where she got her MBA. She's also recognized by the International Coaching Federation as a professional certified coach. We are really happy to have Debra Austin with us today, and thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you, Christian. I am, as always, pleased to be with you guys today. This is a kind of fun topic because sometimes we don't realize just what stories we are telling without saying a word. When we think about what story are you telling, it really comes down to another word that you frequently hear, which is the brand. You know, what is your brand? And that's what we're going to dive into today. You know, what is a brand and how do you build one that works for you? So a brand is really a product, service, or concept, or in this case, person that is publicly distinguished from the other people, other products and services, and that is easily communicated and marketed. So when I say that, it probably doesn't get you the full picture. And a great way to do that is to just try a little experiment. When you see this symbol, what comes to mind? And feel free to type in the chat if you like. But most people see this and they say, oh, it's Apple. And the next question is, what does Apple actually represent for you? You know, some people would say, you know, sturdy products, reliable, iPhones, headphones, Macs, MacBooks, all of the tools, all of the products that have come from the Apple family. Other people might look at it and say, well, innovative. It means trustworthy. It means something that can be used in so many different ways. So that is all spoken just from this one picture. Not one word, not one description, but from the image itself. And when you think about the story that you are telling as a person, what are you saying before you say a word? Another one to look at, you know, the golden arches. What do you think when you see that? For some people, it might mean quick, convenient, good food. Other people, it might mean fast food, unhealthy, whatever that is for you. But when you see this M and these golden arches, you know that it means McDonald's. That's a brand and a strong brand. This symbol, the bullseye in red with the white circle, Target. Again, what does that mean to you? What image comes to mind? Couple contrasts. The first one might be something that's really easy to go to, quick to shop in, inexpensive, great customer service, whatever that means. Somebody else may have another version of it, but this is the symbol that when you see it, you know it means Target. And it's Target shopping. We'll do a few more just to kind of help you along with this whole concept. This one. Pretty simple, right? Instagram. For those who are on social media, you know, they know exactly what this symbol means. And with Instagram, you might think pictures, images, great way to stay in contact with people. It's one of the social media platforms. It's one of the most used social media platforms today, especially with young adults and teenagers. Starbucks, They can charge more for a cup of coffee than anybody else can just because of the brand and the atmosphere, the ambiance that goes with it. You know, when you walk into a Starbucks, there's an experience here, the tables here, people talking. Here's a certain coffee you can walk up to when they have the names that are really cool. You know, like here's a Frappuccino and here's a tall and a grande and whatever. Starbucks, one picture says a lot. Couple more and then we'll move on. I think you're starting to catch on to this one. The Amazon logo, quick, reliable service. Go online shopping. You can shop from home. All of those things come with that one, except we're actually there now. And then Snapchat, quick, easy to send, goes away, great way to communicate. So then the question becomes, when you see this one, YouTube. Go look it up on YouTube. You want to know how to repair something. You want to know what the latest video is. You want to learn the latest dance. You want to see what happened at the party Friday. Check on YouTube. So you may have noticed the pattern that each of these pictures, there are no words, no sounds other than my describing them, but they're easily identified and they evoke a feeling. You have some thoughts about it. Target shopping, Amazon, you know, quick and easy delivery, whatever they are. This is because they have what we call a good, solid story. And that translates into a good, solid brand. My next question then would be, can people have brands? And think about that for a moment. When you see a person's image, do you have a picture that you paint to go with that image? Let's take a look at a few things that may answer that question. LeBron James, Lakers. This is a person you think top of his game, one of the best basketball players there is today. And he has a certain reputation for being active in the community as well. And it's a positive image. Ariana Grande, her music, the style that she brings to the table. These are all things that are associated with her. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, tough guy, funny guy. Same time, the story is he may run for president one day. All of those things come with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Again, all we're doing is looking at a picture. And we have this whole story that goes with him. This guy, Drake, he actually started off in a Canadian series. And he has become a rapper and a movie star. But you associate him still with this guy that came out of that Canadian series and played a certain character. Oprah Winfrey. So her brand is so powerful that when she says this is a great book to read, book numbers just go off, the book sales go off the chart. When she said this is a great product to try, again, any company she's ever endorsed has seen a huge boost just for her saying those words. I think that speaks to a powerful brand. People trust her, they trust her opinions, and they react to that accordingly. And then last but not least, Jimmy Fallon. When people hear him, they think, yeah, funny, but a little bit deeper guy, well-known talk show host. You see him about town. So again, can people have brands? Yes, I think you'd have to agree. And then the next question is, do you and I have brands? And the question to that is yes, as well. So how do you define your personal brand? Well, here's a definition to run with. Your personal brand is going to be equivalent to how you look, how you speak, and how you act. Just that simple. Now, the question is, if you have a personal brand, and you do, and you choose to not guide it, to not cultivate it, to not project what you want people to see, and let it be defined for you instead, then it may not be exactly how you want to look, how you want to speak, how you want to act. More importantly, when people see you and think of your brand, it may not represent what you wanted to represent. So why is that so important? Why do you care what your personal brand is? Think about things like college and university admissions departments. When they look at you, when they see your image, and they'll see your image even on social media, what are the thoughts that go with it? When you go and speak with a potential employer, when they see you, what are the thoughts that go with you? Is this like, oh yeah, this person will be great, they're reliable, they're trusty, you know, they're the kind of person I want in front of people representing me, or this is not a person that I would want to represent me or my company. If you're in sports and you're looking to play professional or rather college ball, you know, coaches are looking at you to recruit. And even on a more personal note, the people that want to date you, that want to go out and be around you, they're all looking at your personal brand, whether you use that word or not. So what is the story you want to tell? What is the brand that you want to have? Here's some things to consider when you think about that personal brand. What do you want people to think about when they see you or hear your name? Who or what do you want to be associated with? Remember I mentioned Oprah, you know, people think trustworthy, and when she endorses something, people go for it. That may be a brand consideration that you want to have, a story that you have for you, that if you recommend something, if you recommend a person, if you suggest something, then people will rely on you because they know that you make good recommendations. What do you want to be known or remembered for? Is this something really, really positive that you've done, that you've achieved? Or is it something negative that you've done or something you were associated with? What are you passionate about? What do you care about? And what's your why? You know, why do you do the things you do? What's meaningful about you and how you spend your time? This is a thing to remember. If you are not defining your brand, if you are not controlling what that is, then other people may be doing it for you. And it may not be the story you want to tell. So that's why we want to look at how we can actually influence that brand. And I will tell you that in the marketing business and in the, you know, building those brands like McDonald's and Amazon and Nike and Starbucks, there are millions and billions of dollars being spent because they want to be able to project a story that people can relate to, that people like, and that people will be attracted to. But we're just talking about doing it for you. And it doesn't have to be costly, and it doesn't have to take the same amount of energy that you will see projected in some of those national brands and international brands. So with that said, let's look at the 5 steps to creating an awesome personal story brand for you. The first one is be aware of your digital footprint, especially today. One of the first places an employer or even college recruiters will look at is they'll go out and see if you are on social media. And if you are on social media, what's the story you're telling there? In fact, it's been said that your digital footprint will carry more weight than anything else you might include on a resume or even a college application. Your digital footprint is a huge factor in creating your personal brand. Again, that's the first place people will go look. Everything you tweet, you send, every status update you post, every picture you share can contribute to your personal brand, to your personal story. And whether you like it or not, you're leaving a footprint on the internet, unless you're never on there. And even if you aren't, there are other people on there talking about you, sharing photos about you. You want to be aware and proactive so you can manage your story. You can manage your brand. Being unaware and being reactive, responding to other people's posts, means that your brand is being managed for you. So it's a digital footprint. It's a simple trail of data that you create while using the internet. It's going to include the websites you visit, emails you send, text messages, images. If you're uploading information to YouTube or videos to YouTube or Snapchat or Instagram or any place else, all of that is part of your digital footprint. Any information you submit to online services when you're applying for something, that's part of your digital footprint. Step 2 in creating an awesome brand for yourself, an awesome story, is to be careful about what you post, share, text on social media, i.e., right where we just started from. There have been several incidents, especially with teens, where they're posting something on social media as a joke, and it gets taken as a serious threat. And then you're dealing with the police officer, with law enforcement, with FBI, whoever else gets involved. There's also been a lot of bullying and mean things that have been done via social media. And those too are having a light shown on them. And they're being taken as part of who the person was who posted them. Taken away from that story that you're telling about who you are and what you represent. So a lot of times people say, well, does it really matter? This example that you see here with this teenager, it matters. The people who will look at you as potential dating partners, spouses, employers, students at their colleges, it will matter. The key thing is don't post anything you wouldn't say to someone's face. Don't post or upload something that you wouldn't want your parent, your principal, your pastor, or other religious leader to see it. Just don't post it because it's there. Step number 3 in creating an awesome personal brand is to be proactive about sharing your accomplishments. So step 1 and 2, we talked about what we don't want to do. Step 3 is what you do want to do. You want to share good things that you've earned or achieved. When you've achieved an award or certificate, when you've been named into a leadership role, you've been elected, if you're out doing community service, you want to share those things. You're creating your own brand by doing that. You're creating a digital portfolio that paints a picture of you and tells the story that you want to be told. Step 4 in creating an awesome brand is to pay attention to the details. Now, what do I mean by that? One of the first things that comes up when you think of the story you're telling is your appearance. Because on average, when people meet you within 7 seconds, they have made a decision about who you are and what you represent. Fair or not, that is the world we live in. And they do that based on 3 things: how you look, how you sound, and the words you use. That first impression that you make is based 55% on what they see. It's not just what you're wearing, it's the body language. Like in this picture, you see the young man slumped over, as opposed to the young ladies, standing up with her, tilting her glasses. And if I asked you, what does that represent for you, you could probably paint a picture of exactly who that person is and what they're doing, and you could tell me a story. And that's what happens for all of us. Sorry about that, guys. The next one is how you sound. What is the tenor of your voice? Do you speak with confidence or do you speak very quietly? About 38% of that first impression is the way people hear us sound. And when you tell a story, are you telling it in a manner where it's open and friendly, or are you using a tone that's really where you're being sarcastic and talking about someone? Those things come across and form that first impression. The last piece, believe it or not, is the words you use. The first impression is only about 7% based on the words you actually say. Think about that, 7%. So you spend hours practicing your speech, what you're going to share, what you're going to say, but very little time on the visual of how you will look and the vocal on how you will express it. And going back to some of the other things you want to pay attention to, especially if you're interviewing for a job, if you're interviewing for even a scholarship opportunity, and someone may call you and get your voicemail, you want to make sure the voicemail is something that they would have a great impression from. And if you have an email address that says love to party, I love to party, that's probably fine if it's only for your friends. But if you're going out to apply for a job and you put I love to party on there as your email address, not so good. So you can probably think of some other examples of these types of details that will make a difference. But I will tell you, especially the voicemail, especially the email address, be careful what they are, because they do form part of that first impression, and they do tell a story, whether you like it or not, and whether it's the story you want to tell or not. Step 5 is the associate yourself with other strong brands, aka good friends. When you think about the 5 people you spend the most time with, What are their characteristics? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What's the brand that they have? And do you want that to be part of your brand? Think about the story you tell when you know that there are a bunch of kids that are always together, always doing something, always getting in trouble. And then you think about the kids who are always doing something positive, working in the community or helping other people. Which of those would you want to be associated with when it comes time to looking at you for potential jobs, potential scholarships, potential colleges? It makes a big difference because the people you are associated with, people who you are seeing with publicly, and even online who you're hanging with in the photos that are being posted, they'll form part of your story. They'll form part of your brand. In fact, most people say you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So if 4 of those people are people that you wouldn't necessarily want to be associated with publicly, so other people know about it, and the 5th person has an awesome brand, the 4 will weigh a lot more than that 5th person. Another way of looking at that is to say you're the company you keep. So here's an image of a group of people. These are young teens, and you want to take a look at the image and say, you know, what are some of the things that you're seeing? Well, of the 5 of them, 4 of them seem to have beers in their hand. And if they're teens, that means underage drinking, right? Just you and your friends hanging out. However, this picture gets seen, it's posted, you get tagged on it. Somebody's looking at your social media profile, your internet footprint, your digital footprint, and they see you in this group. You might even notice that the 5th young lady in there doesn't seem to have a bottle, but the other 4 do. The other 4 do. Again, this is part of your associate with this brand just by being present. Let's look at another image. So here are 5 friends again, or so it looks like they're friends. They're all smiling and happy. And it looks like they might actually be doing some cleanup work, maybe some community service work someplace. They have a positive image, somebody who's looking at you for potential job, potential college admissions. They would probably look at them and say, oh, wow, okay, good group. So again, I have to ask, can people have brands? Yes, we do. We have brands. We have stories we tell without saying a word. And then, which is the one you want to be associated with? Which is the company you keep? So if a friend tagged you in one of these 2 pictures, which one would you rather have a future employer see? Which one would you want to have a college admissions officer see? So one of the things you might say is, how can you be more proactive in associating with good brands? Think about what the people that you're hanging out with represent. Think about what their brand is. And do you want to share that? And if not, you may want to make some changes. So just to recap, what are 5 steps to building an awesome story brand for yourself? An awesome personal story that will help you achieve some of the things you want to achieve. The first one is be aware of your digital footprint. Be careful what you're posting, what you're tagging, and be careful who's tagging you as well. Be careful about what you post, share, text on social media, and through any electronic devices. Be proactive about sharing your accomplishments. This is your brand management. I want you to see who I am. And I am a person who's achieved something. I am a person who is a leader. I am a person who does things to help other people. Pay attention to the details, not just your appearance and your voice, but also how you're using that voice and what those words are. And remember, the biggest one is that your appearance, before you say a word, within 7 seconds, will probably have a story that's told to whoever's meeting you for the first time. The rest of the time in that conversation with that college admissions officer or with that potential employer is either living up to that first impression or trying to get past that first impression if it wasn't a good one. So much easier to start off with a great first impression. And then associate with other strong brands. That's the story. That's what it takes to be proactive about managing your personal story. So it's telling the story you want to tell. And with that, that's my presentation. Are there any questions that I can answer for you?
Please feel free to type any questions into the chat, and we will have Ms. Austin respond to those. Any questions?
If not, I just want to say thank you for listening, and I'll turn it back over to Kristen so she can share some of the great resources at the library.
All right, you can still post your questions. I'm going to give you just a little bit of information about what the library has to offer. And let's see. Sorry, I have too many things open, so it doesn't want to find my spot. Give me just a second here. All right. All right, so if you have any questions, please feel free to go ahead and put them in the chat, and we'll come back to Deborah in just a moment. So these are just a little bit of information about what the library has to offer and things that can help you with skill building and knowledge and information. So there is, with your library card, and anyone who lives not only in Plano, but Allen, Frisco, Garland, McKinney, Richardson, the Colony, or Wiley can get a free Plano library card. Plano Library offers you access to LinkedIn Learning, which is a subscription platform, but we cover the cost of that. So with the library card, you get free access to LinkedIn Learning, which is thousands of courses on a variety of topics related to business, technology, and digital creativity. Some of the course subject matter I've listed here. There are also a number of things about branding, about writing and creating your elevator speech, which is a way to present yourself to potential employer or leader or stakeholder in the projects that you might be doing, decision maker, in a very brief presentation, like a 30-second, what we call an elevator speech. So those are all things that are available for free on LinkedIn Learning with your library card. We also provide access to training on Excel and Google technology and various digital creativity platforms, things with graphic and audio and podcasting, animation, all kinds of classes through the library and through these other platforms, LinkedIn Learning. The great courses are on Canopy. Canopy is our video streaming service. You can watch independent movies there and documentaries as well. But the great courses there give you great skill building opportunities with a variety of classes, many, many, many more than what are listed here. These are just a sampling of some things that might be interesting to you. And then programs like the one we're doing today that are offered by the library on Zoom. We also assist with resume design and job search. We have a series of classes coming up in August that detail out some different parts of the job search. But you can find assistance on resume design on our YouTube channel, and also with tutor.com, which is a database that you can send in your resume and it will give you some feedback on your resume. That's all done digitally. Then Reference Solutions is a platform where you can learn about different businesses and even search for jobs and internships there. Career exploration through Canopy streaming video. There are a number of classes about different, or videos about different career fields so that you can kind of get a feel for what those might be like. And Learning Express Library also has some similar resources, some videos on different career paths. The library also has a program coming up called Navigate Your Future, where we can help you with that directly, and that'll be here in a moment. Also, if you need assistance with formatting your resume or researching a particular topic or a variety of other needs, you can book an appointment with a librarian if you have a library card, which is a 30-minute appointment. That's no cost, where you have direct assistance from the librarian. So if you're looking for resources on a particular subject, or would like to, say, learn a language and you're looking for resources about that, or how to use Pronunciator, our language learning app, you can book a librarian and they will help you get started. We also provide access to a variety of business and other newspapers and magazines, really from around the world. The New York Times is available, and then also through Press Reader, you can read the Dallas Morning News digitally, and also really around the world newspapers in a variety of languages. Books and magazine, or ebooks and e-magazines are also available. Magazines, e-magazines through Press Reader are also from around the world in various languages. So if you are, looking to do an international business sort of career, then you have a variety of tools to help you get started through the library. Then we also have art and creativity programs, 3D design. We have 3D printers at 3 of our libraries that you can use. Printing a 3D model costs only 20 cents per gram for an item that you might print. Most of them might run around just under $2 up to maybe $4 or $5, depending on the size and the weight of your object that you're printing. We also provide language learning through Pronunciator and a variety of materials that you can check out from the library. Pronunciator is an online platform, so you can learn, download to your phone, tablet, or computer, and that will help you with a variety of activities to assist you in learning a language. And you can begin your language learning from whatever your native language is. So if your first language is French, you can program this tool to start with French, and from French as your initial language, and you can learn German or Spanish or English or whatever other language you would like to learn. And we also have a variety of STEM, or we call it STEAM. We add the A for art into STEM, and there are a variety of things you can learn that help you with critical thinking, problem-solving skills. Trying to think of the word. Left me, spatial relations, like building with blocks and origami and those sorts of things. Very helpful in STEM, preparing for STEM careers. Some upcoming classes that you might be interested in. If you are at all interested in entrepreneurship, we have a program that is primarily adults, but we do know that there are some teen volunteer or teens that are interested in and already starting businesses. Entrepreneurial Success Twos, our program that's teaming up. It's a networking meeting on the 4th Tuesday of every month, allows you an opportunity to interact with other potential new business people. Some of them are in a very early just consideration stage. Some of them have already started their business, and it's a way to connect with others and solve problems and bring up ideas. And you also receive assistance and direction and resources from Dallas SCORE, which is a resource partner of the U.S. Small Business Administration, and from librarians. We have offered technology classes. I mentioned before on Adobe Creative Suite. We have Excel going on right now. Also 3D printing and 3D design, a couple of new technologies that we have, Blender and so sorry, I've just forgotten the other one. Very excited about this new technology. They are those that can be used in creating a 3D environment for animations and video games and those sorts of things. So those are very exciting. They're coming up soon. Please look at the library website and our list of programs. There is a whole teen page. We have Navigate Your Future coming up, which is to help you look at a variety of careers and choose something that might interest you. Building Wealth is a starting point for building a strong financial life as you begin to look at work and earning money. How do you prepare for your future and build wealth with that money, with that income? Exploring environmental careers, if you're at all interested in helping to keep our environment strong and healthy, this would be a program to attend. This is several leaders in the environmental field, and they're talking about a variety of jobs that are available and how you would prepare and train for those sorts of opportunities. We also have a number of classes that, like today's, have been recorded and are available on our YouTube channel now. So these are some of those ones. Turn Busy into Productive is fantastic. Kind of time management and Surviving to Thriving, similar with time management, achieving goals, how you can set yourself up for success. So we have a number of things that we would invite you to check out on YouTube. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to send me an email. Here's my email address. Also, you can reach the library website. We have a blog at planolibrarylearns.org. And the library also has a podcast. Wherever you find your podcasts, Apple Podcast or the iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you find your podcasts, you can also find a connection to it on our Plano Library Learns blog. It's called Plano Library Speaks. That is all we have for you today. Are there any questions? Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, a huge thank you to Debra Austin, our presenter, for this wonderful information. We appreciate your time and your expertise. I think everyone who has attended has learned quite a bit. Thank you for your time.